Californian royalty up in this bitch. It's Mike Muir of Suicidal Tendencies. Mike, when you come here and you do festivals, you're no stranger to festivals, but is this something a little bit more magic when it happens in California? I love coming and seeing like these bands in their native places, especially being from abroad. So I was telling Gary about seeing Bad Religion here, and there's something special about it. Do you feel like you bring a little bit of California to these international lineups in a place like this? It's got to make you pretty proud, man.
Well, you know, we're from Southern Cal, and the funny thing is we couldn't play down there. So we used to always drive up here and play, and a lot of people thought we were from up here because we played up north more than obviously down there and stuff, and so we do the caravans and all that. But I think it's one of those situations, like my dad said, wherever you go, it's like a lot of people go places to get away from themselves, run away from themselves, hide from themselves. Wherever you go, that's where you are, and that's, you know, who you're going to be. And we're here, whether it's, you know, literally you get on a plane, it can land anywhere. I am who I am. It's a situation where sometimes people say, this is the way I am, I'm not going to change because it's too hard to change.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not changing for other people. It's good to change for yourself, but for other people, you're in trouble.
Amen.
I know why we're here. We're here to do our thing. A lot of times it's great to be in festivals because you get to play in front of younger people, especially in Europe.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, they'll see the name, they've seen people wearing this stuff, they've seen the pictures, and they go, that's not me. That's not me, you know? And but they see the band, and when they see the band, then they realize the difference between us and other bands. And that's the whole thing with us, Suicidal. My dad always said, the sure way to be miserable is try to make other people happy.
Hell
do things for other people and do things that you think other people will like because you're going to hate it. So we've always never cared what people were doing. We practiced in our kitchen. You know, we played music. There wasn't music. My best friend said, no one's ever going to like it. You know, listen to the radio. You could do that. I said, I listen to the radio and I turn it off because I fucking whoops.
Yeah.
Well, you said bitch first. You said bitch. I didn't hear the fucking bitch. You started it. Now you're trying to make me the bad person. You're making me the bad person.
Hell no. Cuss away, my friend.
Wait.
Friend.
You need to stop this. You're embarrassing yourself.
Take a moment. Take a moment.
I think that was the best thing that ever happened on the show.
I literally just had to go back. What just happened?
I was so afraid.
It's a piece of chest.
Do you know what, Mike?
Yeah.
I'd never taken the consideration that streetwear and that culture would make such a difference to Suicidal when you're doing all of these hookups and the logo is so iconic and all the rest of it. Like, I'd never stopped to think that would bring new fans through the doors in a kind of constant way.
Well, I think one of the things is like I said, it used to be like Sesame Street, age myself. People would say, you know, you look through the punk magazines, metal magazines, whatever, rock magazines, and there'd be a picture of us, and they'd be, one of these things does not belong here, you know what I mean? and that was us. And everywhere we went, the police, one of these things don't belong.
This is true.
You know,
This is true.
And
Suicidal Tendencies.
We've always
to
got
Sesame Street.
the look, so to speak, or whatever. But you know, it's a situation. You know, it's like one of the funny, and I've told many times, one of the quote unquote big punk bands and back in the day, and that wasn't big. They're saying, you know, you're actually not. You're all right, but you're never going to do anything looking like that. And I'm looking at homie wearing, you know, makeup and leather pants and this and
pieces.
And I'm like going, you know, if you got to dress that way to be liked, you know what I mean? You dress up. When I was a kid, I loved to dress up for Halloween. To get candy. But you know what I mean? It's like, I don't need to dress up for someone else.
I'm not a cartoon character.
I'm
just
blessed.
not your thing.
I'm blessed with his ugly face. I can't say.
You look
I
like
can
an
say,
angel.
You know,
You
I
look-
did fight for it.
I love it.
The nose I had to fight for, but you know, I was born this
Literally.
way, as my mom said. You know, bless her soul. She said, "How could such an ugly baby?" She turned and looked at me, get even uglier. Bless her soul, sweetest thing. But it's the truth. No. But so the good thing is like I don't have to worry about, you know, trying to impress anybody or this type of thing and stuff like that.
Hey, passion
you
before
got to do what
fashion.
you feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
You just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but don't get. It's like don't give a fuck for
But
the
in
right
the best
reason.
way.
Yeah, a lot of times people do it. They'll sit there and go, "How do I offend?" And they'll say, "I don't give a fuck. I'll offend." And they're going to go out of their way to try to offend people.
And even that's putting it on. Yeah.
You know, but the bottom line, the only reaction matters is when you lay your head down on the pillow. You know.
That's it.
And you're going to sit there and go, "Why? I offended a lot of fucking people. I, you know, got this and that." You got to sit there and go where you are, where you want to be, and what you want to get accomplished. And to me, someone saying, it's like our dad said. Someone goes, "Dude, you're a god." It doesn't make you a god. It doesn't give you power. Someone says you're an asshole. Doesn't mean you should better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's how you live your life. People aren't going to like you. you got to do things that you sit there and they're going to make you be happier on the journey, not in one particular moment, because so many things what people define as fun is what they regret the next morning when they wake up. So it's like, it is what it is.
Mike, have you ever done a book? Have you ever written a book or anything, Mike? Because you'd be fucking amazing.
I can listen to you talk. I'm not saying anything.
I talk too much now.
You make me feel like I could run through walls, man. I love it.
But serious question: can I hire you as my new therapist?
You know what? I'll tell you what. This is different, and I have a problem with psychology in so many different ways. And when I went to junior college, because I was asked not to return to high school, so I went there early, and I took psychology classes, and they effing hated me. And there's a lot of people that sit there and they say a lot of times people are trying to learn this, that, try to help other people. And there's a whole, you can't help anyone else till you help yourself. But a lot of times they have an agenda, and most people don't realize their agenda because they're like Modesta said, they're like actors. They're playing the part so much they forget they're playing a role. But psychology is such, and I had this conversation with someone I won't name, but they're saying, I went to my therapist and they explained to me why I did all this and this. And I go, why don't you go to somebody, instead of that tells you to make you feel better about all the things you should have done, stops you from doing the shit you should fucking do. So you feel bad about it. So you got to pay someone to fucking tell you not to fucking do it and blame it on someone fucking else. But now psychology is like, I call it the Edison. They got the original light bulb. Still works. So why do we got all light bulbs don't work? There's no money in it. So they make light bulbs that are disposable. Now with the new psychology, people fucking piss me off. What they do is they say, well, you're hurting yourself. Would you let your best friend do that? No. So then there must be a reason why you're doing this. So they look for scapegoats and that. They understand me. It's not my fault. It's everybody else's fault. And so what happens? They keep coming back. It's like diet plans that don't work. You keep on. You know what I mean? It's a matter of they don't want people to empower people, because you empower yourself, you don't need it. And also what happens is you stop other people from doing things before they do it, because you've seen what's going on, and they see that pattern, and it's the difference between being like telling people like what sins are and people being able to see and go, whoa, I don't want to end up like that. And that opportunity and stuff. So I think it's a whole lot of fucking shit.
New book coming out early 2022.
It's based upon people not wanting to put the work in the chip to make efforts to change, because it's hard.
Mike,
you know what I mean?
Mike, it's so good to hear you at like a fucking good point in your life.
I fucking hate myself, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't buy it. I don't buy that.
That's the thing. Why can't you fucking hate yourself?
I love unapologetically yourself.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I refuse to accept that. You know what I mean? I tolerate the point, but it's like we're still working through it. You know what I mean?
Everyone has some kind of.
What do you mean they're laughing at me? They're laughing at me?
Hell no! Just to follow up on that.
But that's the whole thing. This whole situation. It's like as my dad said, you put a suit on a heroin addict, it doesn't change his addiction. You know what I mean? And it's the look, and everybody gets the facade. We get so caught up with that and stuff. And there's a point where you sit there and go, it doesn't matter what it is, what's inside. And now people are trying to deny reality and say, oh, no, that's how I want to be. I'm actually able to this. I'm like, seriously, if you put a button right here and said, you're going to stop this, you're going to lose this, you're going to do this, you're not going to fucking tell me you're not pushing that button, so you're lying to your fucking self. That's what I don't like about psychology. Thank you very much.
When you've got
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
When you've got such a strong ethos.
I enjoyed it.
How do you put together?
People hate you.
No, but
even more than I hate myself, which makes me feel a little bit better.
How do you put together a new? Because this feels like Suicidal All Stars, the band now. Lombardo, Ben Wyman from Dillinger Escape Plan. Like this really feels fucking special, man.
And actually, bring it up on bass is actually Ty Trujillo, Robert's son's playing with us.
You're kidding me! How long has this been a thing?
Well, obviously there's been COVID, and when we got back, everybody had their own schedules, and Rob was out with the Corn, and so we got Ty to fill in for us. Yeah,
love it, man. Full circle. How does it feel with your new gang?
It's one of those ones. It's just like a situation. It's interesting because when people, a lot of times they want to say the right things, and I go out of my way not to do that, because it's like, damn, I got.
We hadn't noticed.
Well, because if you say something, it sounds, man, this is actually the truth, and it's nice. No one's gonna believe me. You know what I mean? Because you always hear people like, oh yeah, you did. How you looking? Oh, you look so nice. Oh, you feel good. But the whole COVID thing, and seeing how other people were saying what they think people want to hear. is as far as music, not the whole politics. I know you get into
Yeah,
that
of course,
stuff,
yeah.
but
yeah.
in the music and stuff, it's like wow. But the first practice when we had got there with Ty and actually Brandon's filling on the drums, and it was like wow, this is fun. This is what I like loved about music, you know. And I started doing music what we did because I didn't like what other people were doing.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between not doing something that other people don't like and doing something that you actually like.
Doing something about it.
And so it's a situation, that's why we're here. Even with all the stuff, there was an article, and our old manager showed it to me. They said the reason why, years ago, the reason why Suicidal should be a huge band is Mike Muir. And the reason why they'll never, ever, ever be a big band is because of Mike Muir. and to a sense, they said, what does that make you think? And I said, it makes me think I'm doing something right.
I love it. After you, man.
Well, it's one of those ones. In all seriousness stuff. When I smile, I only smile because I'm happy. I just realized I'm smiling. It's like this and that. And too many people get into situations where they get in that acting type thing and stuff, you know, and they get uncomfortable. And so we're in Sacramento. I'll go anywhere around the world and I feel comfortable. But when I go anywhere in the world, I know that there's a way things happen and I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And I go there with respect. You know, if I'm in Brazil, I'm going to the favelas. I'm going with people that know that. They say, hey, we're bringing this guy and stuff, and I know how the situation is and I know how to handle myself. And I don't go there wearing $50,000. Well, I don't have $50,000 worth of jewelry. But people do. They get robbed and they're like, oh, did you hear that? I go, yeah, they're fucking dumb.
Yeah, what you
know what I mean? You're talking about people that are poor ass. You're going there taking pictures and stuff like they're not human.
That's it,
So it's like you go anywhere you go with respect. You don't go there like you belong. You have an invitation, but even though you have an invitation, you go there with respect.
Yeah.
So, you know, other than this, and I'm talking too much shit, we get on our stage, we do our thing, and then we step aside and stuff. We have to follow the rules. They won't let us in. We have to wait, you know, and stuff. That's the whole thing. So we're here to play. We're here to do our thing. Someone's going to get from it. There'll be some people that say, wow, number of reason why people don't like Suicidal is never heard the music. And then there'll be people that hear it and they'll go, that's definitely not me. You know what I mean? And that's good. You know, we don't want to be liked by everyone. Yeah.
But Muir, Lombardo, Trujillo, and Wyman, respect the fuck out of that. Suicidal Tendencies, Mike Muir, ladies and gentlemen.
And I want $50 since they said it's 5 minutes and I went way longer. Oh, no, that's not true.